Melly Mel. What's going on with you, man?
What's popping? What's popping?
Oh, nothing much. Look, been trying to track you down. You a hard man to catch up to.
Yeah. I've been busy. Been doing a lot.
How you been holding up in this pandemic?
I tell you what, I've been doing okay. The people have really respected the DJ when he's out with the mask and everything. So the respect is there. So been doing good.
Okay. So you've been able to still stay, I guess, relevant and active to a degree, I guess. I've been seeing on like the news and different stuff like that where you had some spots where cats would be, complaining about getting shut down. I saw one spot, I think it was in Missouri, where they actually came and shut a party down. Have you had to run into any of that type of stuff?
No, actually, we've been doing pretty good. All the venues that we go to, we find out what the rules are, right? And maybe every 30 minutes I have to remind folks, hey, you need to keep your mask on. Once we get the rules of the venue, then we're good. We did have a local sheriff come through a venue out in Shepherdsville, but he just came by to make sure people were good. No shutdowns, and everybody acted the way they were supposed to.
All right. Well, I mean, that's definitely good. So everything is COVID now, right? But I want to get some more into DJ Melly Mel, right? Just,
okay.
Understanding, when you started, when you knew you had this calling or this craft. I mean, a lot of cats I talk to, they're like, I'm just born with this, man. It was in my blood from day one. And I'm like, listen, bro, you ain't come out the womb spinning records, so.
No.
So when did you feel like this was something I wanted to do? When did you?
Well, music, when I was in Charleston, South Carolina a long time ago, and I was part of a 4-man quartet in middle school. I was a saxophone player, and I loved music. I just loved the music. I mean, it goes back to the Fat Back and all those old 80s and 90s, 80s and 70s, I should say, old jams, the Spinners, Michael Jackson. I just loved it on the radio. My grandmother, every Sunday morning, would put on Aretha Franklin or put on something that she would get up and clean the house, and then we would go to church, and then we would sing in church. They would sing. I can't sing. So that's how it started. I moved to Kentucky. Things took over. I went to the University of Louisville, and a friend of mine said, hey, man, there's a DJ crew, but they need help. We're not having enough parties. So we put together a DJ crew. Each of us brought something. I had a turntable. Someone else had a turntable. One guy from Chicago had a mixer. And we went to the doo-wop shop, I'm dropping names, and got the speakers and the amp. And there you go. That formed our first DJ group. And that was in the late 80s. And ever since, I've been grinding ever since.
Yeah. All right. So now you were in the military before. So were you spinning at that time as well? Or?
I was spinning at that time. I took a brief hiatus due to Desert Storm. Right. So after Desert Storm, we got right back on campus, and actually it fueled more of my desire to make people happy, and that's what the music does. People do it for money. It's the passion that got me. It's because I carried crates back then, right? So you had to have 15, 16 crates just to go through to keep people at a 4-hour gig.
So let me just cut you right there real quick, right? Because we got all this new stuff and this new technology, so we might have some people out there that don't know what we're talking about crates. We're talking about old vinyl records.
Yes, we're talking about, yes.
You had like just carrying cases and crates of them back and forth to gigs. So you was spending way back in the days, back in the olden days, as they say now.
Yeah, the golden days. The golden days, we had a trunk full of vinyl 12-inch records that we kept in milk crates, and we carried those in and out. I don't even know how we did it compared to what we do now. So yes, that was part of the passion, because if you think about it, if you didn't love what you did, it wasn't worth it, honestly.
Right.
So I loved it. We did homecomings from Eastern Kentucky, K-State, University of Louisville. We have been all over for my 6 years at U of L.
Wow. So for these new DJs, right?
Mhm.
And not saying anything is, new DJs are better or old DJs are better, different stuff like that. But for these cats who never had to go and do that whole moving crates thing and going and digging through records and things like that, do you think they missed something by not doing that, or is it just something? Is it a different dichotomy for them? Is it something different that's going on with them?
Well, I mean, it's just like my parents. My dad used to say he walked to school 12 miles in the snow barefooted, and then here I come along and I got tennis shoes now, and I'm not walking, I'm catching the bus. And then my kid came along and he ain't even catching the bus no more. I'm taking him to school. So each generation, I think we evolve into something else, and we have struggles with that generation. So I don't think they're missing anything. I think the only thing that I tell people to do your homework. Understand the craft. Understand the music. Understand what makes people tick. Because you could have a bad set, but it takes that one song that somebody remembered you played for them, and it doesn't matter how bad your set was, you made their night. So do your homework, read your crowd, and practice. That's what it comes down to. All the lifting and crates and carrying the music and all that, that's all fine and dandy. But at the end of the day, it's how you make that crowd feel.
Okay. Cool. So then, have you done any work with the with the new cast? What is Melly Mel doing right now to, I guess, embrace this new generation of DJs?
Well, here's what we're doing, and I say we because I'm not by myself. There's a couple of us, and at first it was just the Melly Mel show, right? I was just out here grinding, doing my thing. Haven't really reached out to anybody, but if anybody wanted to get along with me, I was good with running. Ever since COVID, it gave me an opportunity, the first part of 2020, to sit back and see where we can take this business. I've partnered up with a few folks, and then we want to take this business to another level. So I took the first part of 2020, researched, did my thing, and now we're coming out 2021 and 2022, and we're expanding. We're moving on to different things. We're hiring other DJs also. So the grind is real, though. We're still out here grinding. We're still out here trying to earn your business and do those things for the public.
So we ain't necessarily got to that spot where we can just kick back. And I don't know if you can get to that spot in DJing, right? Whether you can just say, okay, I done DJed so long, I done DJed forever, I can just kick back and rest on the laurels. I don't think that DJing really is that type of activity. From what I see from most cats who come and talk to me, it's all about passion, right? And when they lose the passion, they kind of just step out the game.
Yeah, I've had some of my DJ friends, big time DJ productions here in Louisville, and they've told me I work too hard. But I think the passion is allowing me to work hard. I love what I do. I do it all the time. I talk about music all the time. Even at my first job, I talk about music. I bring music to the office because it uplifts. It makes the night go smoother. So, yeah, the grind is real. I like the grind. There's money to it. I make no bones about it. But if I didn't get paid, I would still do it.
Right. So for these new DJs, again, coming back to them, right? A lot of the people I talk to, I've talked to them like, well, I DJ this style, I DJ that style, and different things like that. You get some people that's open format, and people don't know open format is I can walk in to any event and play anything. That's open format, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's always that question about whether open format is true open format, because you can play the song, but can you rock that same type of crowd? So do you have a specific preference that you go to, or are you more open format? What type of gigs you typically, what's your clientele typically like?
That's a tricky one.
Well, and I know it's a tricky one. I don't want to get, I don't want to get your trade secrets. But what I want to do is be able to, let DJs know out there that listen, these are some ways you can start crafting, or these are some things that you need to start looking at. So if just going one way is not it, a guy can spend his whole time just going one way and then find out later on in life, hey, I should have went more than one way.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and I feel like the class is called a DJ, and I say class meaning not learning, but class as in we as DJs are different forms. There's turntablists, there's battle DJs, there are event DJs. We come in different many shapes, forms. I feel like I'm a DJ that can do any crowd. I've been to the far reaches of Kentucky, Ohio, Tennessee, all over Louisville. So my brand and the people that I hang out with when it comes to DJing can do it all. They can keep a crowd, read a crowd, play anything from country to trap. So, but not everybody's like that. Some people are isolated. Some people just want to play R&B. Some people just want to play hip hop. Some people just want to play country. I understand there's a place for everybody, but for me, I want to be able to say, if you walk in the door, you might hear Waylon Jennings, followed up by Lil Uzi, or LL Cool J, followed up by, Megan Thee Stallion. Right. So that's what I like to do. I like to see what people want. I take requests, and it seems to work.
Okay. So when we talk about hip hop, we talk about music, we talk about history, right? We talk about all these great DJs that came before your time and before the DJs that were before you. So who is the one DJ that kind of inspired you to be like, I like that, And every time you see a hip hop interview, they always ask, what song made you fall in love with hip hop? So I guess the equivalent here is, what DJ made you say, oh, that's nice?
Well, it was DJ Jam Master Jay, right? He was the guy, because this is Run's house.
Rest in peace, Jay.
Yeah, rest in peace. And then to take it to the next level, it was Jazzy Jeff. Jazzy Jeff took it to the next level for me. Can I do Jazzy Jeff stuff? No. But at the same time, he made me fall in love with the craft. And so that's where it is. Jam Master Jay and Jazzy Jeff. And there's a couple others that are here or there, but those are the main two that solidified DJing for me.
So talking about Jazzy Jeff now, he's been catching a lot of slack. I mean, don't get me wrong, can't nobody deny, boy, he got talent. But he's been catching a lot of slack for leaning into the technology because he came from vinyl, right? Back with Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, and he showed that at times he can spin with vinyl. I'm not sure if you've seen that Peter Piper routine he does, but literally after I saw that, I was like, I don't know what they're gonna do next, because he just broke the internet with it. But technology-wise, he's partnered with some of these companies that, one of the DJ controllers he helped develop some automated scratching on. So now you can just push a button and it'll scratch. Now, I've been told, though, that it's not as simple as it sounds. I've been told that there's still more to it, but he catches a lot of slack for that. And then I've seen some interviews where he has talked about the sync button. And I know that's the dreaded DJs in every interview, like, I'm talking about that sync button. I don't want to go on record on that sync button. So I'm not asking you to necessarily go to record on the sync button. But do you see it as a tool for new DJs, or do you see it as it just corrupts the whole game?
Well, I mean, it's like the cruise control in cars. I mean, I like having my cruise control in the car. I'm not gonna get mad if you want to put your foot on the pedal and do that, but I'm gonna use cruise control. So as a DJ game, carrying those crates, yeah, I learned how to do that. But I'll be honest with you, give me a hard drive and a laptop and 2 speakers and I'm ready to go. As far as the technology, you can push as many buttons as you want, but if you don't know the music and you can't read a crowd, then buttons don't do it for you. So one thing Jazzy Jeff had to do, and I respect him for it, he's got to eat. So some of these companies went to him and said, we're going to give you X amount of money if you endorse this brand. I'm sure it wasn't easy for him at first, but he had to eat. He had to elevate his game to do something different, and so now he's being sponsored by companies, and he's showing how it's done. I really like the fact that he can transform from vinyl to hard drive, MP3, MP4, and do video mixing also. So if you're that DJ and you're so self-critical and you got to do vinyl, that's your niche. Go for it, but don't hate on a person who's evolving and making the game better, because now DJs can do more than one thing, because they can own photo booths, they can be videographers, they can be photographers, they can DJ a party, they can do uplighting, they can do so much more with so much less. So yes, it makes it easier.
So the game done really changed then for your average DJ. Because I remember back in the day, it was literally the DJ just showed up, he rocked the set, he took home all the girls, and all you did was try to holler at one or two and get mad by the end of the night if you couldn't. You know, but now it's more of a full-fledged business. And in fact, we've got DJs that are just artists who, you know, are holding these big arena concerts, whereas before it used to be the DJ, played the tracks for the artists, you know, and then now it's the DJs in front. But I remember back to a time when it was the DJs were in front. It looks like we're going back and forth, because the DJs were in front of the party, and then you would get an artist come up and do a little bit of rapping or singing or whatever the case was.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back to the old Boogie Down Bronx days, the old hip hop parties in New York, and cats would show up to the party to try to get on with the DJ to do some rapping. And then, of course, you know, the music part became a little bit more forefront, and the DJ played the back role just a tad bit. And now it looks like the DJs are taking that back over, right? Basically getting out front. I do see a lot of this happening with other types of music, but I don't see a lot of urban DJs doing concerts and shows where they are the premier performer. I'm not seeing a lot of that. I don't know if you've run into it or you've seen any situations like that. I'll see them as part of a rap show, but I've not seen them as, okay, headliner, DJ Melly Mel. There is no rapper, right? It's just DJ Melly Mel sold out with 50, 60,000 people at a party. So do you think that's something that will transfer over into the different styles of music? Or is that just more niche for the types of music that's being done with now?
Well, I mean, you have DJ, I'm drawing a blank. DJ Akeo, he is a fundamentally an EDM DJ. But if you looked at some of his concerts, and he's renowned. I mean, you're right, he sells out overseas these stadiums that are crazy, and he's the headliner with all his EDM tracks, but then he goes into a type of urban set. There are some DJs out there that do DJ Khaled. I mean, he's doing sets in Vegas all the time. And DJ Kid Capri, he's one of the urban DJs. We got a guy here in Louisville, DJ Chaos. Shout out to DJ Chaos. He's one of Louisville legends when it comes to DJing. So
yeah, I actually went to. I remember Chaos from way back in the day, and when I say way back in the day, that's just telling how old I am. He used to be spinning at caddies, and literally, if you wasn't in the door, you wasn't getting in the door, because it was. Oh man, yeah. I've seen him do some crazy stuff.
DJ K-Dog. I listen to these guys, and I'm older than those folk guys, and I listened to them growing up also. So there's some headliners out there. Back to Chaos, he was Slick Rick's DJ.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's some good guys, there's some good folks out there that are headlining. When I went to Vegas a couple years ago, DJ AM, he was very popular, rest in peace. And there's a few. Jazzy Jeff, he can sell out. I don't know how many appearances he does anymore. I don't keep up with his appearances, but there's a few DJs that could rock a stadium and be the headliner. But for the most part, DJs are the support. You know, they're the support to the rapper, the MC, the background music, even at weddings. I take it upon myself to blend in. I don't want to be the flash bang guy. Our sets blend in, and we're part of the ambiance of the wedding.
Okay. So you do a lot of weddings. Anytime the word weddings come up around here, it actually goes with your name.
Yeah.
anytime I hear somebody say wedding, they say, "Oh, Louisville's a wedding DJ Melly Mel." I'm like, "Well, he got the whole state." Well, pretty much, I'm starting to see you do, or the whole city. But so you do weddings, right? And I know you do clubs and entertainment and things like that. So what's the big difference, though? Right? What's the if you got a DJ who's out there who's getting started and he's like, I don't know if I want to go weddings, I don't know if I want to go clubs. What's the big difference for him? Then what's the where's the most opportunity for him?
Opportunity here locally would be weddings, events. I think we don't have a club scene, we have a bar scene. So bigger cities, you may have a club scene. We have a bar scene. So the opportunities, I mean, the city is flush with DJs. There's a lot of good DJs out there. But I think events is where it's at, you know, providing a service for companies, providing a service for brides and grooms, providing a service for birthday parties and private events. That's where I want to eventually move to. I grinded for O'Shea's, Patrick O'Shea's, for 8 years. Yeah, actually, it didn't stop until January of 2020 when COVID hit. So it stopped. It came to a screeching halt. But for 8 years, I was primarily their main DJ for Patrick O'Shea's, and we did a lot of good things together. And we held it down in the city. But still, it was a 50-50 club bar scene. And then we got into the private events. That's where it took off. That's where the weddings took off. That's where the company parties took off, the birthday parties.
So then have they opened back up yet? I know with this whole COVID thing going on, everything's real touch and go, right? So has the city started to open stuff back up yet to get back into that type of environment?
Not quite, not quite. I mean, there are some bars still opening, and there's some DJs who are working in these clubs and stuff. I chose not to go that route for the simple fact that I want to make sure we're open 100%. The whole yo-yo effect is where we open up, then we close down. Then we open up, and then we close down. And I want to do my part for public safety, too. I want to make sure that when we go out, we have our face masks, we have our lotions and everything that we need to make sure that we are sanitized and we keep a healthy environment. Not saying that these bars and clubs aren't, but there's a lot going on when you're less than 6 feet away from somebody. So I chose not to get back in yet. I don't think O'Shea's or some of these other local bars have opened completely to have a dance night type of situation. Right. But I hopefully around September, the concerts start coming back to Louisville, things start opening back up, the virus has died down somewhat, and we can get back to business as usual.
Okay, cool. Well, listen, I know you got a hectic schedule. I appreciate you being able to cut a little bit of time in there for me. I do have to ask you though, because I've been eyeing that cup you got right there. And it looks clean. So, you know, a little brand placement, a little product placement don't hurt. You know, so is that something that people will be able to get, or if they come to the gigs, they'll be able to purchase that type of thing, or is that just a prototype right now?
No, actually, we actually have a whole line of these things. At first, it was just a referral type thing. You referred me, I gave you a cup. Now we're selling it. I had a few family members from Texas actually send checks, so we had to send a whole ton of these things off to Texas because they wanted the DJ Melly Mel new emblem, the new brand, the new insignia. So yeah, we're selling them. Hit me up on Facebook at DJ Melly Mel, Melvin S. Lewis, and we'll get you what you need.
So and just another piece. I know I'm about to let you out of here, but look, I know it's hard to track you down. So when I get you in here, I got to get everything I can get out of you, because it might be a while before I get you again. So just from a business standpoint, though, right? Because it seems to me, like just talking to you right here, that DJing as a business is more than just DJing now. You know, you were talking about lighting, you were talking about a whole bunch of other stuff, photo booths, accessories, and I'm sure all that stuff's available on your website for people to learn about it. But was the transition from just, hey, I love the music, I just love playing the music, to now I've got to be an individual who, in this new world, I've got to deal with this marketing, I've got to deal with this product. I've got to deal with product placement. I got to make sure my brand is where it needs to be. I got to make sure people can reach me. Has that been a difficult transition for you though? Coming from, hey, I just love music, because it's obvious your history. You love music, right? You've been playing instruments. You get into this. Has it been a difficult transition?
No, it's actually happened organically. I remember when our first wedding, it was at a church. We had to play a lot of clean virgin songs and a lot of contemporary Christian music. So it took me 6 months to figure out that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I was going to do. From that first wedding, it organically grew into, I owned one speaker. Oh, I own 2 speakers now. Oh, guess what? I got an amp now. Oh, I need to get this speaker. Oh, the bride wants a photo booth. I don't have one, but you know what? I'm gonna go get one. I got 6 months to learn how to use a photo booth. So as I met more DJs and I met more people wanting stuff, I felt like being a one-stop shop was more beneficial than having to outsource it out. And it kind of just grew organically. It wasn't something that I said, I gotta have, I'm gonna sell this. It was something that, well, we would sure like somebody that had 50-inch TVs. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go get 2 50-inch TVs and we're gonna sell that. One thing we use the 50-inch TVs with this thing called Jamtex. And this Jamtex thing is awesome. It's a on-the-spot live photo shoot where you can take your iPhone and you can take pictures of the event you're at, send those pictures to me, and 20 seconds later, it's included on the 50-inch TVs with a slideshow. A lot of people don't use those, don't use that, but that grew into that, but it was organic. So next thing you know, I went from 2 uplights to 4 uplights to 8 uplights. Now we got a whole slew of uplights. So those things kind of grew. I didn't go out and just purchase them right away. We kind of just let things as brides and these events want them. That's how we got it. And now we're a one-stop shop.
Okay. Yeah. So last question, and I promise I'm going to let you get out of here. We're going to an imaginary world. You can go back and talk to little DJ Melly Mel when you was 20 years old. And you know you're going to head down this road. You got a 3-minute conversation with him. You got 3 points that you need to tell him to help guide him to be the man that you are today. What do you tell him?
3. So I used to be the headline DJ at Louisville Gardens. So any Bigelow Productions hired me, and I was the house DJ for most of the concert that came through Louisville Gardens a long time ago. Shortly after that, I stopped DJing. So the first point was I went against my passion and I just stopped DJing for a period of time. I would tell little DJ Melly Mel, don't stop what you love. Don't stop doing what you're passionate for. You may have to evolve and take a different route, but don't stop doing what you're doing. I did for a period of time, and but it helped me grow as a person. Now I'm a better business person. I'm a better DJ. But there, for a time, I just quit. I collected music. I loved music, and I kept collecting the music over and over again. So that was the one point. The other point is education of business. It was passion and a hobby for me. I didn't think about business until recently. It was something that I just loved to do. So I would educate myself on the business aspects of how to manage money. And third, surround yourself with people that want to be successful with you. Because there's a lot of people out here that just want to use you. So you want to surround people that want to be successful with you and want to grow with you. So those are the 3 things that I would definitely go back and tell little DJ Melly Mel what to do.
That sounds like some pretty sound advice. You know, sometimes I ask that question, I get some off the wall answers, but that sounds real pretty sound, man. Listen, I appreciate you coming through again. Thanks for stopping by. Keep us up on what's happening with you. Keep us up on letting us know what's going on.
Hey, 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 Move.